Silently they headed for the princess' suite.
Still, Nahima exclaimed as she walked with it. Even if it will take some time, we called the fairy forth. Soon he will be out of the woods. I hope so.
As they were about to enter the room,
they noticed. 4 AM, sorry. They noticed the tailors running towards them. But that story really is interesting and I kind of want to continue. So, even if it's 4 AM. But I'm recording it from Saturday to Sunday night, so it's okay. After the previous wins, they had gotten ready to face a third one and had done everything they could to work even faster. Not only did they call on all the apprentices of the domain for help, but they also took the liberty of fetching many precious materials. And thus they were already bringing the rest, the color of the sun, worn out by those long nights of work, yet satisfied to finally see the end of this punishment. Kiona felt devastated. The princess bemoaned. Oh Nahima, what should I do? The dress is already here and I cannot buy us more time before the fair comes. This all over?
Actually, here is my thought. You have the whistle. You can hide it. Then, you can say something like, "Hey, father, I want my godmother to be basically with us when the marriage will take place." And, that would be for him an impossible task. Bam! But that's just my idea.
Not yet, princess, I have an idea. It pains me to share it, but I was not able to find another throughout the day.
Ask about the jewelry now.
It's the easiest possible solution, maybe.
Kiona tucked the retainer's sleeve eagerly, thrilled to see an alternative appearing.
Say it anyway. Tell your father that his gifts make you happy and that you accept to marry him on condition that he brings you a token of love which will ensure his sincerity. As for the height of his marvelous donkey, which guarantees the prosperity of the kingdom.
That's something I haven't thought about. Nahima, you are a freaking pretty wise person.
The donkey? But I cannot, that would be horrible. The poor animal did not do anything wrong and the country will be headed for ruin if the donkey is not here to maintain our finances anymore. I know, princess. I'm not very proud of my advice, but I did not see any other way. Well, it is a wise idea, but at the same time, yeah, it might be problematic as well.
So, come with other idea.
If there is still an ounce of this garment left in your father, he will refuse and you will be saved. However, if he persists in his madness and decides to seal the fate of our people, then you should not have any scruple and leave this wretched place. Are you not supposed to serve my father? If I find a way to escape to another kingdom, you will be stuck here. That is a possibility I am ready to face. My loyalty lies with the princess. Even if it serves me badly, the same applies to the common good. I put you above anything else. Oh, Nahima, but I would feel so guilty. It would assuredly be the road to ruin. You must do it, princess. That's our last chance to buy some time.
Kiona sighed. She could not step backwards, not so close to her goal. Okay, you really are nervous, and I would say this time they really did a good job. As the previous days, the hearse consequently wore the clothes and went to her father. When she entered, she dazzled the king. Never before had there been something as exquisite, and never had the princess looked as radiant. Satisfied to see his daughter beaming with beauty, he was delighted with the mere thought of celebrating their wedded bliss, and could not hide his pleasure.
Are you content with your dress?
No.
Yes, father. They are also magnificent.
Very good. Was it your last request, or do you have another wish before our wedding?
Yes. Well, all those dresses are beautiful. I am sad to espouse you. However, I would like to make sure of your feelings towards me.
The monarch furrowed his brows. I'm ready for anything, if it means convincing you, Dada.
As talk of love, I would like the skin of that old donkey which I believe is getting so bored in your stables.
The king, having lost his ability to reason long ago, had no remorse in sacrificing the treasure of the country, and granted the dumbstruck girl's request. He added that the animal would be killed right away and that she only needed to wait until the next afternoon, so that the skin could be prepared and partly dried.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Speaking of a freaking idiot,
that guy really went mad.
Thus, the princess spent the longest and her most eventful night yet. She never stopped waking up, drenched in sweat, imagining the dead animal at her feet and trails on its skin. In the darkness of her room, she feverishly prayed with all her heart that the fairy would manage to save her. So you're thinking about yourself only. And not really about the donkey. I feel like both the king and the princess are not really great leaders for the country. May God grant her that wish. She should not know yet that the day to come would be the longest and the most nightmarish one of all her existence. Nahima confined her princess, wakened by the delirium of that endless night, to bed all morning so she could rest and regain some strength. When the hour of the meeting with the fairy struck, Kiona was already feeling a bit better, but she was still at her window, dumbfounded.
What do you think about love? I do not know. All my thoughts are getting tangled up. I'm not even sure I can distinguish between what is right or wrong anymore.
We're definitely asking about the donkey. Being killed was a bad idea. The herd turned around, assuming she had glimpsed Nahima, but there was nobody in the room. The young girl stood up immediately, with a scared look on her face.
Who is talking? Don't be afraid, my love. I'm just confirming that the coast was clear.
Hello. With those mysterious words, a minor gust of wind entered the princess' cabinet, and took the shape of colorful whirlwind, revealing a human silhouette.
Godmother, is that you? Yeah, my child, I suppose. We're expecting someone else?
Before Kiona's wide-open eyes, a strange creature had just appeared. I don't know why she would call her a strange creature, but okay. The stranger did look human, yet she also seemed devoured by leaves and lianas, like a nymph. Her piercing gaze and her shredded, almost grim garb made her look more like a witch than a fairy.
She has a garb? Really?
The princess did not dare tell the one she had invoked that she was scared of her, but she was not able to hide her turmoil either.
Well, I did not picture it that way, godmother.
The stranger laughed frankly and stared at the young girl with ardent eyes.
But you are not the only one. You humans have such a curious outlook on our kind.
Contrary to what you may think, we do not have wings or magic wands. It is a bit more complicated than that.
Oh, I see.
Well, first of all, she did not believe in you. So I guess she didn't really have any image.
Do not be afraid, I'm not going to eat you.
For now, maybe.
Fairies are beings who are closer to nature and whose powers come from the word tree. If the way I look seems slightly monstrous to you, it is quite simply because I am a former human, just like you, who forsook her existence and was corrupted. Are you a demonic creature then?
The laugh intensified.
It is hard to grasp for believers, who perceive the world in terms of right and wrong, heaven and hell. We fairies are entities who could not be more neutral. We are neither good nor evil. We can just as well bless or curse mortals, depending on the way they use our powers. My nature will depend on you. If you employ me to do harm, then yes, I will be a demon. However, if you employ me to do good, then you will not have to worry about sin. Kiona let out a small relieved sigh. For a moment she had believed that she had summoned a demon or a similar creature. If her faith determined the fairy's actions, then surely she would not have to concern herself with anything. What? As a good Christian, it would never occur to her to do any misdeed after all. Oh, that's what you mean. I read in your eyes that you doubt me. As I said, my child, I am not a creature from hell who came to lead you astray. Only a human being who sealed away her memories and her ability to love, so she could become a guardian of this world. My work would be meaningless if I were voluntarily sowing destruction all around me. Are you reassured now? Yes, godmother. Very good, then let us move on to more serious matters. Before we even make a request, I will explain the rules. As your godmother, I am willing to grant you some minor and harmless services. However, if you wish for more assistance on my part, you will have to make a pact. A pact? It is quite simple. A human who has made a pact with a fairy can call her at any moment, instantly, and she will be able to grant one's wish, regardless of its nature. The bond between them is so strong that the request can be completely absurd, and will still be fulfilled. However, this magic is not free. One does not bestow unlimited powers upon a mortal just like that. There must be an equivalent cost in return. Nice. Yeah, I get it. In exchange for having their greatest wish fulfilled, the human must forsake part of their shared memories, which means they will vanish from the memory of the person they love the most. Kiona could not help but shiver. Nahima was the person nearest to her heart, and she had in no way the intention of losing her, obviously. The mentioned rules tarnished her face. Is it a heavy price to pay? It is a heavy price to pay. Indeed, I will not hide that it represents a substantial sacrifice, but the sacrifice is as great as the miracle I will be able to create at your request. The power to create miracles. The princess immediately became pensive. A heavy responsibility was resting on her shoulders. The fairy realized this and tried to reassure her. That being said, I know that completing a pact with me does not commit you in any way to make a wish. This was instantly the case of your mother. My mother? Absolutely. We're bound by pact, but she never managed to make up her mind because of her love for you and your father. Thus, she decided to break the pact and make you inherit my blessing instead. The princess was speechless. So then, her late mother had chosen to protect her at any cost. Legends were true. The queen was really acquainted with fairies. Are you telling me that if I make a pact with you today, I can reconsider and nothing will happen to me? Exactly. You are a quick thinker. To be perfectly honest, I would rather avoid this scenario. As long as the pact is valid, I am forced to stay in your world, so they can answer your call at all times. And that kind of sucks. If you do not intend to use my powers, it is a waste of time for both of us, and I would rather get back to sleep in the World Tree. I will nevertheless heed your choice. So we are not obliged to make this pact for you to help me? Yeah, no, I may be able to use magic for small talks, but as soon as you try to change fate to satisfy your aim, there will inevitably be consequences. It would be wise to sign a pact in advance to have your wish at hand should you be in trouble. Are you implying that your magic could be dangerous? The fairy rolled her eyes, irritated. God damn it. Seriously, it's obvious. And like I have told you many times, I'm neutral. My magic is not inherently dangerous. However, it could turn against you without warning, depending on how you use it. For instance, let us say you ask me to kill your father. Neighboring lords could get wind of it and decide it would be perfect time to launch an attack on your lands. I will not have deliberately initiated a war, but war will stem from the murder perpetrated at your request. That would be a criminal action, instantly, but I never object to the requests I get, should they be immortal or full. I'm not here to judge. Anyway, if an army ever happens to storm into the castle, and you are taken hostage and threatened to be put to death, you would be glad to be able to ask me to release you or undo your wrongdoings. I understand better, Godmother. I'm not sure that I know what to do. She really acts like a kid. I mean, all the thinking actually was done by her friend, right? Fiona seems kind of useless. I mean, I feel like the only thing she thinks is like, someone save me, please. Right now. And yeah. Well, we'll see. Maybe this will change. The first seemed touched for an instant. She seemed to be gazing through her as if she were seeing someone else. I guess there's nothing we can do about it. If I had to give you one piece of advice, it would be this one. Close your eyes and tell me honestly in what you believe the most. What is the strength that could get you out of a difficult situation? Boom. Okay, I'm pretty sure she doesn't believe in herself, but who knows? Okay, the game saved. Okay, it's 4:30 AM. I think I'm taking a break. For it might not have any influence on the video actually. I don't know. Because I'm really not recording at the usual pace, you know, like 30 minutes episode, break, 30 minutes episode and so on. But I'm going on with it, so. Alright, so I've returned to this and I think I've said something about actually choosing to believe myself. And I think I'll go that way. I think that my willpower can make a difference. If I believe in my abilities, I can move mountains. Let's not go that far. But I know that it's saying. Magic is only a trigger to push me into outdoing myself. The creature seemed genuinely surprised by that answer. No idea why you called her creature, but sure. Indeed, magic only serves as a weapon to your inner strength. Your strength is even the source of magic. The stronger your mind is, the more powerful your magic will be. I did not think you would have already understood that. You are very mature for a mortal so young. You have potential like this. Well, I haven't really thought that. But basically that you should use only magic in worst case scenario, but sure. Let's say that was also what I had in mind. Well, at least she had that in mind, maybe. Thank you, Godmother. May I take some time to further ponder the matter? Of course, I'll come back tonight. You will give me your answer then. In the meantime, be strong. I sense black clouds above you, my child. Hey? Say what? What do you mean by that? And with that rather mysterious sentence, the fairy vanished.
and drenched in her distress, the princess decided to walk around in order to help her reflect. What do you mean, black clouds? Damn it. Wandering through the corridors like a lost soul, she noticed that all the retainers were busy preparing for the imminent wedding. Passing near the kitchens, she overheard scraps of conversation between some of them. I have heard that the king has no man left. Yeah, the marvelous donkey has been slaughtered. I know someone working at the stables who saw everything. It's appalling. How is the kingdom going to hold out? It was the only thing we had left. No idea. As far as I'm concerned, I'm thinking about departing with my family. As a craftsman, I should be able to find work in another castle. Yeah, well, I kind of understand them as... Give me a sec. The phone call interrupted a bit, alright. Have I read this? Yes. How lucky, I would like to do the same, but it is impossible. I have to stay here until the very end, since I'm only a chambermaid. What have you done, girl, right? Told you that death wish was not a good idea after all. Kiona sneaked out before getting noticed. Now was not the time to be congratulated by fake smiles. She stopped for a while, in the garden, to meditate and pray. God, if you can hear me, give me your strength. Later that night, as the heiress was rereading under the candle's light the courtly novel she had borrowed in the library, a scratch at the door interrupted her daydreaming. Seized with panic, she blew the dim flames out and lay down in her bed, pretending to be asleep. Like a little child, she definitely did not want to be disturbed. The scratching noise intensified. A few minutes of silence later, the creaking of the panel being slit open revealed a silhouette. The princess focused as much as she could on keeping her eyes shut, as clear steps were coming closer to her. She waited, her heart pounding. Someone was standing right next to her. She could sense their breath. It was her father. She was sure of it. That creep! After what seemed like an eternity, she could once again hear the steps, this time farther away in the corridor after the door was closed. The princess carefully opened her eyes. The Donkeyskin was lying just in front of her. Kiona could not hold back an exclamation of disgust. How dreadful! Poor thing! Poor thing. Let's face it, it's your fault for actually saying that you want that. You could have come up with some other idea. He only said, no more dresses, well, no more clothes. You could ask for something else. But no, went the furthest you could, basically. But, well, you'll see. Maybe we can use magic to get the donkey back alive. To life, actually. Somehow. Maybe. We'll see. And yet it is unlikely to bite you. The candles were lit as if by magic while the fairy was making an entrance in her usual whirlwind. I see that the king provided the height of the donkey you had asked for. So you know. My child, I must know. I know almost everything. Such is the benefit of being a fairy. Was that crystal yellow? Actually yellowish, because there is some of orange. Do we have an answer to give me? Yes, madame. All things considered, I think I cannot make a wish under those conditions. I'm not ready to lose the person I love the most, and either way I would not know what to wish for. I see. This is unfortunate, for it would have allowed me to get back to sleep sooner, but this probably is the wisest choice given your situation. Nonetheless, even if I can help you outside wish, my powers will be incredibly reduced. Would you not want to make a pact as precaution? Kiona put her hand under her chin in a pensive stance, then nodded. It's not really under her chin right now.
I accept. I hardly have a choice if I want to avoid the loathsome wedding getaway.
Let this be a deal then. In that case, come closer and grab my hands. You must not let go of them during the whole summoning, understood?
Yes, godmother.
Perfect. Let us proceed.
Wait. What is it, love? I do not even know your name.
The fairy suddenly seemed moved and at the same time almost sorrowful, as if that question was bringing back painful memories.
I'm known as Medea. Are you satisfied now?
Show interest.
I heard that it was disrespectful to pronounce the name of a fairy, is that true? Or may I call you by that name?
Uh-oh, it's red now. The creature looked away towards the other side of the room, as if she was ill at ease.
It is quite complicated. Unless your name worked like the demon names do. If I happen to know it, I would gain absolute control over you, and that is something you would rather avoid. You truly are a clever one. Medea is my fair name, not my real one. The one I was given when I was still immortal. However, I forgot that name along with all of my old memories when I was corrupted, so I cannot reveal it, even if I wanted to. And it would not be a good idea anyway. I believed you, but trusting that sort of thing to a mortal would have disastrous consequences. I see. May I know why you are called Medea then? That is the name chosen by the ward tree when it read my heart. It is very likely based on what I have been as a human being. I believe Medea means to understand, to meditate.
A monk?
This is a very pretty name that shows you are a person possessing high knowledge.
The fairy could not suppress her laugh.
Certainly. Are you satisfied this time? Yes, godmother. Let us begin.
Medea immediately grabbed the princess's frail hands and began to recite an incantation in an unknown language. A magic circle appeared on her back. As she was singing louder and louder, quicker and quicker, the various flames located in the room seemed to gain strength. Eyes closed, the fairy appeared to be in trance. But has she created some kind of protection field so no one hears that outside of the room? Kiona was scared by her exhalated face. A strange feeling spread through the body as the distant beatings of drums came to her ears. Her sight started to become blurred. The heat was preventing her from thinking straight, and she already could not comprehend what was going on anymore. The fairy was unmistakable, drawing near the climax of her incantation, and the princess had to struggle to keep standing. All of a sudden, a fierce burn pierced her chest, as if an invisible hand were branding her with red-hot iron. Then, nothing anymore. The fairy's chant stopped gradually and Kiona eventually got her 5 senses back.
What happened?
Something had changed in Medea. Her eyes were glowing with a troubling light, contrasting with the nonchalance she had displayed so far.
The link has been established.
The fairy kneeled before the young girl, dazed.
I am at your service. You can now summon me whenever you like. I would like to specify nevertheless that I remain a mere outsider. You are the one to make decisions and shape your own fate. What do you mean? Well, in short, I will settle for executing your orders. It is up to you to ask me what you need.
Kiona remained speechless. The fairy got back on her feet and put on her most beautiful smile. What the princess was able to see her pupils again. When the princess was able to see her pupils again, the creature had seemingly returned to normal.
Call me when you have made up your mind, my love. I'm going to go for a stroll.
And with those caustic words, she evaporated again. At the same time, Nahima burst in the room.
Princess, I'm so sorry. I was held back a good part of the day because of the ceremony in preparation that I could not sleep out sooner. Are you right?
Could be better. Do I look okay too? Could be better.
I am rest. Since this morning you would have seen the fairy and your father. I guess you must be shaken. But I'm here now and I will not leave your side. If I can help you in a way, just tell me. Thank you. You're so adorable.
The young servant furtively put her hands on her cheeks to hide their rosiness.
It is the least I can do. Nahima will always by your side, no matter what happens. Have no doubt.
The princess coughed as a way to redirect the conversation.
I was able to talk with my godmother. She agrees to help me, but only if I explain what I need. She told me that she would not allow herself to decide what I should do in my place.
Kiona decided not to mention the pact in order not to make her friend worry. The incantation had been frightening enough that the heiress did not want to bring up the subject ever again.
Well, it wasn't frightening from my point of view, but maybe experiencing on yourself that was.
Furthermore, she was feeling shameful and was refusing to confess to her religious friend that she had been imprinted by the fairy's mark. That could not possibly be a good thing in the eyes of God.
Oh, that's good news. Have you decided how you're going to escape from father? Not yet, but I'm working on it. I'm going to sit in a corner of the room to avoid disturbing you then. Give me a sign if you need me.
The princess took the time to lie in the bed and watch her breathing, so that she would be perfectly calm and lucid. The decision she was about to make was crucial, and she had no room for mistakes. However, her mind was empty and she did not know how to escape from her father without him finding her. Kiona glanced around the room in the hope of finding an idea. Her eyes laid upon the manuscript of clichés that she had brought from the library and put on her desk. In that story, the characters go through similar hardships. Fenris devises a ploy so that Clichés' uncle believes she is dead, allowing her to escape her lover without raising any suspicion. To achieve that goal, she asks her wet nurse, Tassala, who can brew potions to make her a filter that would make her appear dead. That would be a solution. Ask my godmother for a small beverage and solicit Nahima to be my accomplice.
Maybe.
Her eyes laid upon the Donkeyskin that her father had placed on her bed. So, basically, here comes the idea. Ask the godmother to bring Donkey to life again. Maybe it would be possible. And after that, it appears that father did not bring the skin to you. So, you could avoid getting married with him, which is still a sick idea. It looked truly hideous. A strange thought then crossed the young girl's mind. Disguised with such unsightly rags, nobody would ever suspect she was a noble lady. Seriously. If her grandmother managed to get her out of the castle, she could pretend to be a peasant and avoid being recognized. That would be a solution, to disguise myself with the height of the animal and flee with the complicity of the fairy. Seriously. You really haven't thought about the other idea. It might not be possible, but I think it's still a better idea. With determination in her eyes, the princess stood back up. She waved to Nahima.
I think that I have found an idea. Let's call my godmother here, without further delay. I'm already here.
The two young girls jolted up, hearing the fairy, who had once again appeared without warning.
So this is your true form? Whispered Nahima. How impressive.
Medea's face seemed to lighten up.
Thank you, I will take that as compliment. Anyway, let us get back to the reason of my presence. Speak, love, how can I help you? I need you to... For the demo, there is only the choices. This choice and all other choices will be added later on.
You knew I would go with the other one. You knew that. Okay, pretend to be dead.
Godmother, just like Fenris, I would like to have a magic filter which can rid me of all my senses and make me fall in deep sleep, akin to death, so that Nahima can get me out of my coffin when nobody's paying attention.
Oh.
What if she won't manage to get you out of coffin? Now that's problematic. Thus I would be free to leave without raising any suspicion and seek refuge from a neighboring lord. How sure you are, princess. I'm so glad to be able to participate and lend my support. I can indeed plunge you into a magical coma for several days with a mixture of my own. What is a coma, madame? Really? You don't know? Different times, I guess, maybe. This is difficult to explain. Coma is a word which doesn't exist yet. You can see into the future? Since time flows differently in the world of others, we exist at the same time as your past and your future, which allows us to learn a lot of things. I'll explain this to you another time. So this idea will actually work out? I mean, she probably knows already. The fairy turned to Kiona with a serious look. With one deft gesture of her hand, she traced invisible words in the air and a small vial appeared in her hand as if by magic. Here's a potion. Once you will have it taken it, you will become as stiff and pale as a corpse, and you will fall into a deep sleep that will last exactly 3 days. At the end of this period, you will regain consciousness quite normally. Thanks to my magic, there will be no consequences on your metabolism. You will be as fresh and lively as if nothing had happened at all. So there is no risk of you dying of thirst or soiling yourself as a side effect. Excellent! I would still advise you to get organized with your servant before drinking the potion, so that she knows that what you expect her to do while you are asleep. Thank you for your advice, good mother. What the hell was that? Thrilled by the prospect of flying her escape, the princess gratefully kissed the fairy. Oh. I have to leave now, my child. You know what to do if you ever need me. Thus, the strange creature disappeared once more. Nahima turned to the heiress with a dash of anxiety on the edge of her lips. How are we going to proceed now, princess? The two young girls agreed with one mind that Kiona would drink the filter after laying in her bed so that the illness would seem more believable. Nahima would then have to run through the castle and make as much noise as she could. She was all too pleased to do so and set off to run through all of the castle's corridors to scream her distress. Soon enough, the rumor of the princess's death spread everywhere. The king immediately called the best physicians while the retainers were gathering in the hall to whisper to each other. It was said everywhere that the heiress had been taken by the same mysterious illness which had claimed her mother, that she had spent the day before her death bedridden, and that the country was cursed. The ploy Kiona had devised seemed to be working perfectly. Barely a few hours after talking to her servant for the last time, the physicians announced that she had passed away and the whole kingdom was mourning her. The transfer of the princess's body soon came to question, as it had been kept in her well-guarded room until then. The king in person went to contemplate the pale face of the one who had been his daughter while several servants were taking her way to the family crypt. Upon learning this, Nahima panicked. It was planned to bury the princess as soon as possible because the king had forbidden all ceremonies in her honor, except the last rites. She therefore did not have much time left if she hoped to extract Kiona, who was now resting in an open coffin in the castle's crypt. The servant immediately wanted to go to the site as visits were allowed, under the supervision of two husky men who were guarding the room night and day. When she saw the peaceful face of her mistress lying on a bed of flowers, the young Moor was unable to suppress her emotions. She had to do everything in her power to get her out of here. Nahima attempted to be cunning and asked the guards as innocently as possible if they could bring her some incense while she was spent taking over the remains of her mistress. Unfortunately, the guards were not that stupid and retorted she had all the time to do it herself. Aggrieved, she came back a few minutes later and tried to distract them. In vain, as the two men were obstinately immobile. Nahima's fear grew more and more as the hours passed and she came to beg them to leave her alone with the body for a moment,
yet they remained unwavering. The lady's companion, even more shaken than before, started to cry, insisting the princess was not dead, only asleep, and that they had to help save her or she would really die. The guards thought the pain had driven Nahima insane and they called for reinforcements in order to bring her under control. In utter despair, Nahima struggled. She scratched her attackers, screamed murder, but they would all have the hear's death on their conscience. But ultimately, she could not do anything against the men who were taking her away. Isolated under the pretext that she was hysterical, the young girl was imprisoned in one of the dangerous dungeon's cells, guarded by soldiers who looked as sinister as the others. She was strictly forbidden to approach the body or even to get out until a week after the princess's burial. Thus, Nahima was unable to keep her promise. The servant refused to eat and spent those few days in the darkness of her cell, talking to herself.
Princess, I'm sorry! I'm not meant to let you escape, and the both of us will not go on an adventure! I would have loved that really, and I was looking forward to it so much, but Nahima has failed! She has failed to act in time! I'm so sorry, so very sorry!
A few hours later, she was found hanged by her belt in her makeshift cell, whilst the heiress was officially buried in the graveyard overhanging the forest that adjoined the castle. At the end of the 3 days, Kiona regained consciousness as planned. However, as she was softly opening her eyes, she quickly realized that something was wrong.
What is...
The young girl was shrouded in darkness and did not distinguish anything that could give her clues about her location. Her heart raced in her chest. This was not reassuring at all. She wanted to get back on her feet and then immediately understood how grave the situation was. She simply could not. Beds of sweat dripped from the corner of her temple as she touched the edges of her macabre prison. A realization that hit her right in the chest. She was locked in a box. Not any kind of box, one that was big enough to fit a whole human being. Her pupils widened because of the stupefaction.
Impossible! Could this be? A coffin? They buried me?
The princess tried to keep a semblance of calm, but she had to fight her inner demons to achieve that.
It must be a mistake, she thought aloud. Surely, Nahima is on her way to collect me. She's just a little late.
In order to reassure herself, Kiona paid close attention to the noises around her, hoping to detect her friend above her. Well, you could still try to call for Godmother, but she could only hear the wind in the desperately quiet forest. The young girl was buried too deeply for anyone to notice her or even glimpse a ray of light, and she did not know night had come for some time now. But I kind of... I don't understand actually Nahima's doing. I mean, she couldn't retrieve her before the princess was dug in the ground. But why couldn't she try that after that? Should be possible, right? You go there, dig, open the coffin and... yeah. Well, unless it's a more problematic area, because it can be. Okay. It hardly kept her from trying, for she was still thinking she could escape.
Is there anybody here? Nahima is you! Please let me off here!
Unable to do anything at all, the princess waited in silence. She could not keep track of the time, yet the suffocation was twisting her perception and it seemed to her like she had been motionless for hours. Long hours during which she was hoping her servant would come soon. However, she had to face reality. Nahima would not come. Something had happened during her sleep which had prevented the servant from fulfilling her mission. Had she been discovered, or was this revenge on her part? The most absurd theories were passing through Kiona's feverish mind. Soon enough, the narrowness and the obscurity of her prison became unbearable. Her breath got irregular, while her whole body started to violently twitch. Despite all of her efforts, the heiress could not suppress the panic which was taking hold of her.
It's so dark, I have trouble breathing! For pity's sake, let me out of here!
In utter despair, Kiona then remembered the pact she had completed with the fairy. Surely she could use her powers to save herself. As the princess was readying to summon her godmother in her head, a horrible thought made her doubt. The fairy would only fulfill her wish if she accepted being separated from her most beloved one.
She's already dead.
Which meant that even if she were able to get out alive of this coffin, Nahima would not remember her and she would find herself alone and forsaken. Indecisiveness forced her to reconsider. Kiona consequently decided to wait a few more minutes. Seriously. Unfortunately, the situation was already utterly out of control. Her control. In no time, she felt like she was running out of air, which increased her paranoia and her panic attack. In tears, the young girl cried out in human pleas and her eyes started to sting.
I cannot take it more! I cannot! It has to stop! This sniper has to stop!
A late realization suddenly struck her. She was going to die, alone, in this gruesome coffin.
I don't want to die! I don't want to die! I don't want to die! I do not want to die! Mercy! God, have mercy on me! I don't want to die yet!
Choked by the overwhelming heat, pupils widened by through pure terror. The princess gathered the last of her strength to raise a shaking and convulsing hand.
I do not want to die.
And she brought herself to call her godmother. The fairy's voice echoed inside her head straight away.
Yes, my child? Come here, I beg you. Help me, I'm sorry, I do not want to die, please help me. Calm down, do not forget that we are bound. If this is your wish, I'll fulfill it. I don't need you to clearly express what you are expecting me to do. I can save you, but you have to tell me how I should proceed. How? There are many ways to get you out of here. Pronounce your order unambiguously and I will obey.
The young girl stayed quiet for a few seconds. Fear was making her delirious and she could not control her emotions anymore. Thus it was impossible for her to properly focus. Yet there was an absolute certainty engraved in her heart. She could not allow herself to lose the relationship she had with Nahima. She was her only friend, the only person who understood her. There had to be a way to erase her mistake without having to pay the first tribute. Time was running out and Kiona could not wait anymore. A shameful thought suddenly came to her. If only I could go back in time and choose another path. If only I could... Her behavior suddenly changed.
Idea, allow me to go back in time so that I can have a second chance.
Your wish is my command, princess. With these words, the same magic circle which had materialized during the pact appeared in the young girl's coffin and illuminated her with a blinding light while the fairy was reciting a similar spell. The echoes of the magic words filled Kiona's heart with fear. What was she doing? Could this charm truly save her? She did not have time to put more thought into it, for everything that was around her disappeared. Her body rose in the air, flopped by a powerful wind, as if she was moving at great speed. The last minutes of her life flashed by backwards. Like a furious bull, no one could stop. A final thought wandered through her mind.
Have I made a mistake somewhere?
Yes. Without warning, she lost consciousness, and the world ceased to exist. Thus began a long, very long nightmare.
Oh shit! Seriously? Oh man.
Well, that was great. Loved it. Need a full version.
Oh.
Totally did not expect them traveling in time elements, to be honest. Totally did not see that coming. Well, totally did not expect Nahima to hang herself as well. But I kind of predicted that she might not be able to get princess out of the coffin. When the idea struck. Well, I would definitely choose the Donkeyskin. If we were in such a situation instead of the other way, because, well, let's face it. You could, well, at least I believe you could kind of predict she might not be able to take Princess out of the coffin. And also with knowing how the games from Prominent Machine work. Support us in Kickstarter. Oh yeah, the link is in the cards, in case whoever watched it does know. So yeah, you can support the project, or in the description. 2 places you can go there from. Alright, that was Chronotopia. Damn good story. Alright, wait. I guess in demo we can get other endings, right? Or if I made some different choices, it would lead to that. Maybe. Alright, hope you enjoyed the whole demo of Chronotopia, if you watched it here. You can also try it by yourself. itch.io. Link obviously in the description left, as always, for the games. And yeah, see you in the next game. Bye bye.